Reason number 1. I need to feed the cats. It's so weird. I haven't really had the energy to play with them and give them the attention they deserve. I only have the energy to feed them, yet they love me anyway. At least that's the way I like to look at it. They probably just cuddle me because they think I won't feed them unless they do. I always wondered what goes on in their little minds, and if they think they could have had a better life if someone else raised them. Who am I kidding? They probably only think about their next meal and how they're gonna get it. But it is nice to think that these little, and maybe not so little guys actually care about me. Reason number 2. Maybe somebody will miss me. I honestly feel like this is a long shot, but even if there is a slight chance that someone cared enough about me to miss me, that would be enough for me to stay. I don't know. I just think that grief and depression go hand in hand. When you're depressed, you're constantly grieving, like who you are and who you could have been if your brain didn't lack so much serotonin. I think if someone missed me, they would feel just like how I felt my whole life, and that's a big burden to carry. I wouldn't want to put that burden onto somebody else's shoulders. I think everyone deserves better than that. Reason number 3. If I stay long enough, my life could get worse, but in the same way, it could get better. I don't know if there's a reason why I'm here, if I have a spark. I spent most of my life believing I wasn't good enough, and I think after a while the people around me started believing the same thing too. You know, when you watch those documentaries and friends and family talk about how kind the person was and how they always lit up the room. I've never been that. I've never been the person who lit up the room or comforted people when they were down. But maybe if I hold on a little longer, I could become that. I know the wiring in my brain may be a little faulty, but with time, maybe I could work with that. These are the 3 reasons that I gave myself not too long ago. I was at the lowest point of my life, and these were the only 3 things I could come up with. Now that I'm reading them out loud, it doesn't seem like these are good reasons to stay, but it was enough for me at the time. So I'm going to give you 3 different reasons as to why you should stay, and hopefully that's enough for you too. We are a speck of dust at most in this galaxy. That doesn't even include all the other galaxies that are light years away from us. And all of these galaxies make up the universe as a whole. I don't know exactly what that means, but I do know it means a lot. It kind of makes you feel like you don't matter and there's no point to your existence. But at the same time, in your body right now, you have over 30 trillion cells, each of them having its own job and its own purpose. Now, the purpose may seem small, but it's not. Let's say you're working out. You have cells that are communicating back and forth from your brain to your limb to tell it to move. Then you have mechanical cells that are making that limb move. There's also cells that are releasing endorphins, so you get a good and happy feeling while you're working out. That doesn't even include what cells do when you get injured. What I'm trying to say is, yes, technically you are a speck of dust. When I'm overwhelmed with the good and the bad things in my life, I always tell myself this: no mistake is too big and no accomplishment is too small. No mistake you will make will ever cause the world to stop spinning. But maybe something you do in life will actually make a difference. In your life or someone else's. Maybe one day you'll hold the door for someone and in that split second, they felt seen, and feeling seen was all they needed to stay. And then they stay and live their life and maybe find the cure to cancer. I don't know. Maybe you hold the door for someone and it doesn't make a difference at all. The fact is, there is a chance that your existence will cause a chain reaction. There's even a chance that someone will start that chain reaction with you. If you're not here, where does that chance go? That chance leaves when you do. And if you can't live with that fact, then you shouldn't die with it either. This year I went on a trip to Atlanta. Truthfully, I really wasn't going to go, but I've been in this if not now then when kick, so I decided to go. I really don't know anything about Atlanta, but I did know that I liked aquariums and Atlanta has an aquarium. When I was getting my tickets, I actually saw that they had the one animal on this planet that I put on my bucket list from when I was 12 years old. When I went to the aquarium and saw that creature, that 12-year-old me told herself that she could not feel fulfilled or feel like her life had purpose or meaning, or that she lived her life to the fullest unless she saw this animal. When I finally saw that animal in person, it made me so thankful that I stayed. What if I didn't stay and I missed this? I think about all the times that I felt happy, even if it was just for a second. I think of all the people I've met, the things that I've done, the places I've been. I could have missed all of those things. What if I don't stay now and I miss many more things? As a kid, I always wanted to travel and see the world and meet different people and see different cultures. I also wanted to live in New York in a nice industrial apartment, probably on the Upper East Side of Brooklyn, I don't know. It's just a dream that I put in my head. I still want to do those things no matter how unrealistic and unattainable they may seem. I may not have done them yet, but I know as long as I'm here, I have the chance to do it. And that chance is all I really need. It's all anyone really needs. When you look at your life now, it feels like it's not worth staying. There's something lacking, and right now you feel like you'll never get it. Let's say right now you lack happiness. When you feel like you'll never obtain happiness, it makes you feel hopeless. But what if there is a chance that you could get it? What if there's one day you reach for that cup of happiness and there's finally something in it? Life experiences have meaning in the moment and in the future. I said earlier that I never lit up a room. I was never the person someone went to for comfort. But as I go further through life, I feel myself getting closer to that. I think most of my life I was angry. Truthfully, I still am. And there are still people in my life who look at me as that person. But I identify less with her now than ever before. Experiencing the things that I like, the things that I don't like, being comfortable, being uncomfortable, being happy, and being at my lowest points. All of these experiences have made me who I am today. And my later life experiences will make me who I am tomorrow. I haven't been the person who lights up a room, and I haven't been the person whose shoulder you cry on. I'm not even that person today, but I can be that person tomorrow. I just have to start by making it there, and so do you. I often have times where I look at my life and feel disappointment with where I'm at. I've always had such big dreams, and I still do. I just feel like I don't live up to them. I know I'm still young and I could do more, but there are moments where I feel debilitated by my disappointment in myself. But here's what I do. I write down my dreams, and then I ask ChatGPT to give me a day in the life of me living my dream life, and I make myself read it out loud. I know it may sound stupid, but I promise you it flips a switch in you. Reading it out loud forces in my head that how I feel now won't be forever. But if I don't stay, then this is it. There is no added chapter to my story. All my life will amount to is this moment at this very time. And again, if you can't live with that fact, then you shouldn't die with it either. Life comes in phases, and despite my mental health struggles being a part of all of those phases, it doesn't mean that I didn't accomplish anything or I didn't enjoy parts of those phases. You see these underdog stories on TV where these characters go through the toughest obstacles and then they come out great in the end. But we tend to forget about those obstacles because we see where those obstacles brought them. We see the bigger picture. We get to see the end of their story. And to us, those obstacles were just a part of their story. But to them, in that moment, it was everything. We may not have crazy superpowers like these characters, and life could sometimes be more cruel than the fairy tales. But we are like these characters in many ways. Nothing stays the same. The story always changes. The only difference is we don't get to see if the pain was worth it in the end. All we have in this present moment is hope. And sometimes we don't even have that. We often feel like we won't get our redemption arc. Our ability to go through our lowest points and come out better in the end. We just feel pain and heartache and sometimes even nothing at all. But here's the thing with the redemption arc. It always comes after pain. It always comes after that earth-shattering moment. It always comes after your lowest point. Your story will never begin with a redemption arc, but it's up to you to make it a part of your story. You right now will not be you forever, just like how you in the past is not you in the present. You will change, and in some moments it won't be for the better, and life will just tear you apart, but you'll still change, and in the end, you'll become who you need to be. What all these reasons have in common is two things: the opportunity of chance, and it only coming if you stay. I'm not gonna lie, I do have days where I don't understand why I stayed. I think to myself, I stayed for what? This is what I stayed for. I sometimes feel guilty for staying and not doing more with the time. But more often than not, I'm glad that I stayed. I think back to when I was at my lowest point and I had to write down these 3 reasons. And I think about how much I've changed since then. If I didn't stay, I wouldn't have realized that I'm more than just a student. That I could do other things and have an impact on other people's lives, even if they're just strangers on the internet. I could be more than the kid who sat in the corner and didn't say anything. The things I have to say are important, and I'm important. I just had to live a little longer to see that. And I hope that you live a little longer to see that too. If you're feeling down and making it to the morning seems like an unbearable task, please reach out to someone. I know in the moment it may feel like nobody cares about you and the world would be better off without you. But I promise you mean more to the people around you than you think. You just have to wait until morning to see it.